So if you've been following our videos or what we've been doing on Facebook, you'll remember that about 7 or 8 months ago, we started posting about a 100-year-old house that we were completely rehabbing. And so today I want to go through the actual numbers and the specifics of what we did on that house, how much we spent, how long it took us, and how much money we made in profit, because that's why we do what we do, is to earn a profit that we can then use as oxygen to fuel more business activities, more things that we want to do in life. And the reason I keep making these videos, spending that money that we make on video people to shoot and edit the videos, is to show you, A, that it's possible to make money. That's the issue with a lot of people, is they just don't believe that it's possible to make money, period. And 2, to show you the nuances of what we're actually doing that's successful, and more importantly, what we're doing that's not successful. So I'll hit both. I'll hit the things that we did that worked really well in this remodel, and we'll hit the things that we did that did not work so well. So to start, the total timeline for this job. Our first credit card charge for dump fees, that's always the first thing we do when we trash it, when we go into a house that we're completely renoing, is we have to remove any of the owner's previous contents. So that was on August 21st, 2018. The completion of the project would be when the house sells, and I've got the check that we got from the title company right here. The date of the check is March 20th, 2019. So that's 7 months, almost on the dot, from the day we started to the day we got our check and we got paid. Well, let me talk to you about what we actually did in the house. So the big picture items: we replaced the roof. Under the roof there were 2 layers of shingles, so it was an extra expensive roof. I think we paid about $11,000 all told to remove the pitched roof and the flat roof. And the roofing company we did, A Better Barrier Incorporated, great job, would hire them any day, great friends with them. We replaced the entire AC system. That was about $7,000 or $8,000 between the actual system. We had to add a little bit of ductwork and a couple of returns where they were not. It's an old house, so the AC system needed a lot of updating. So that was about $8,000 right there. We also had to re-drywall, I think, about 3 of the rooms, and then probably about 20% of the wall area, because in the back of the house there was a huge area that had termite damage. We had to kind of reconfigure some walls just to change the way the interior laid out. Nothing load bearing. We didn't put any beams or anything in, but we added to a wall to make 2 rooms separate that really should have been separate from the start. Changed the master closet, made more of a reflection room area, and repaired all the termite damage. It actually brought it up to current code. That room was not insulated. It now is. So between all that, what we wound up spending in total on the job is about $59,000, with a purchase price of basically $90,000, $60,000 into it. That's $150,000. Sold it for basically $200,000. What we wound up having at the end after closing costs and everything was closer to actually $40,000. We then had to split that with our business partner because he provided the money. We provided all the labor and construction services and management, and we fronted the cost of that. He fronted the cost of actually owning the house. And actually, we carried all the risk because ours was unsecured, even though we had a notice of commencement and all that. He had the equity of the house that backed up his investment. But it worked out because if you look at percentage-wise, we had the higher return on our investment. So on our investment of $59,000 was the actual number. About $37,000 of that was materials and subcontractors, and about $17,000 was wages, and then about another $5,000 was not administrative costs, but like payroll tax, payroll costs, and workman's comp and liability and stuff like that. It's cool. We can break that out the way we do our workman's comp. And so brought us a total of $59,000. The check that we received, and we'll have to take a close picture of that so we can throw it over here, was for $78,992.65. So if you subtract out $59,000 from that, our profit on the job to us, to Home Love Construction, was $19,992.65. Now, if you take that and you take into account our initial investment of $59,000, our gross percentage return was 39.9%. Now, if you annualize that, it took us 7 months, so it's basically a half a year. It actually almost doubles. Our annualized return on investment was 58%, which is pretty damn good. The stock market you usually expect around 10%. We made 58%, so annualized, and 33% straight up. So we were super happy with the numbers. Let's talk about what we did well and what we did not do well. Something that we did really well was taking care to have our subcontractors scheduled so that we could get in and do the things that we needed to do quickly. The roof came off in probably the first 2 or 3 weeks, and the AC system was replaced within the first month or month and a half. What we did not do well is we decided to do the drywall in-house. Now, we do lots of drywall. We hang it, tape it, finish it, all that. At the time, the way we were managing our employees that were doing drywall specifically was not effective. And so we're actually spending probably about double what we should have spent on drywall due to, frankly, just poor management and not planning the job properly to find out where we had to spend money and where we didn't need to spend money. So if we could have waited and had the foresight to know that this was going to be a 7-month project anyways, and we would have waited for our drywall subcontractor to become available, because the guy that we usually used, actually, we know he's properly insured and licensed and everything, he was actually out, I believe because he got LASIK surgery. Ironic. And so we used our own employees to do it when we normally would have used a subcontractor, and we paid for it, frankly. It wound up costing us probably double what it would have cost for a subcontractor. So say it would have cost us, maybe $4,000 for the sub to do it. It cost us $8,000 for us to do it. We thought that we would make it up on saving time. We did not. It wound up taking probably longer than the sub would have taken to do it. And it was not a win as far as money-wise, but it was a big win as far as learning. That's a great thing about doing projects like these and having room. We having bought the house, it's an 1,800 square foot house. Having bought it at the price we did at the time when we did, we had already made money. We basically had equity in the house instantly because it was an old house. It had the original floors in it, and it was actually in very good condition structurally. It just needed a lot of cosmetic stuff, as you can see from the $59,000 price tag. A lot of cosmetic stuff. So. That being said, we've actually said this before, and this was in my podcast with Roy Barnhart on the Pasco Pros podcast. You don't make your money on the sale of a house. You make your money when you buy a house. If you buy a house that you're going to flip that you instantly have equity in because of local market conditions, that's when you make your money. It's a done deal. So really, to kind of wrap all this up and put a bow on it, I think we did a good job of showing you where we started, how it progressed, and how we finished, and what the actual numbers were. A lot of you are probably, wondering, can I get in on this? Can I work with you? And frankly, the answer is yes, we'd love to work with you. Now, there's some conditions. We obviously do not need help as far as the construction side. So unless you are looking for a full-time job doing construction activities, I don't need somebody to do the work. We already have employees. That's covered. Frankly, please don't waste our time unless you're looking for a job. If you're looking for a job, hit us up. We'd love to talk. If you have capital that you're looking to invest in real estate, I would love to talk to you. We can, there's a potential for joint venture partnerships, and we're totally open to that, always looking to meet new people. Now, I'll tell you that we prefer to work with people we know, and we will only work with people who are amiable, who have a win-win attitude, and are generally positive and see the upside rather than the downside. You have to be a risk taker in order to do this. There was a potential we could have made nothing on the job and wasted 7 months of our valuable time and efforts. Luckily, that did not happen, and we're super pleased with the outcome. Thank you to our business partner for working with us and making this happen. We really appreciate you. And again, if you want to reach out to us, just send us a message on our Facebook page or send us an email, homeloveconstruction@gmail.com. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. We're trying to do more behind the scenes BTS kind of stuff, as my videographers like to call it, and show you the inner workings so that you can get as much value out of our journey as possible. And it's going to be cool to look back at this and be like, hey, remember that house we did? Yeah, wow, let's go watch the video and recap it. So it's for us, it's for you, everybody wins, all going up together. So get out there, start finding properties. Properties like this are everywhere. Get on wholesaler lists, you know, beat the streets, knock on doors, send letters. I mean, I know wholesalers who send letters and find properties. All that said, thank you for watching. I appreciate your attention, and I will see you in the next vid. Peace.